Hello, and welcome to another episode of Annie Casts. I'm Annie, aka Android. This game was gotten off the Dota 2 Cast It subreddit, submitted by Kotulang Gangsta, and it's pretty exciting. It's set to be a 5k 5-stack, so we're going to see some high skill plays with a lot of communication, and I think it'll be really interesting. And I am joined by my co-caster.
Hello!
Your name is... Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Alright, my name is Zandr Dota. Thank you for having me on your show. We already have an alchemist picked up. Wow. I know it's hard out there for the gangsta that has sent this stream into us, so I am completely ready.
Alright. And it looks like first pick Alchemist, so definitely keeping with the new meta, which I really, really like. Probably going to be a farming or jungle Alchemist, just to get everyone their ags. So it looks like we are going to probably see some more ags-reliant heroes in this game. Like Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, here comes the Crystal Maiden. I absolutely love that the fact that new 6.84 Alchemist has returned. Alchemist is not as strong as ever, but you know he's a lot more fun to play. He's not just buried in the graveyard where he used to be. I hope that we can see, you know, 5 alchemists, or not 5 alchemists. Oh my goodness.
5 Aghanims is what you're looking for.
5 Aghanims, you know, Aghanims, alchemists, you know, whatever, same thing. At this point, it's the same thing, anyways. 5 Aghanims, I want to see it picked up, I want to see it bought, I want to see it given to everybody. I want to see a 6-1 picked up and given to Magnus, which was the next pickup for the Dire team here. Magnus and Ursa, so sort of an AoE combination we got going on with reverse polarity into Earthshock, and the slowdown from the Earthshock and the reverse polarity. If we can see an RP into Skewer back into the Ursa, into this big scary bear, it's going to be terrifying. Alright,
and Centaur Warrunner picked up for the Dire as their third pick. Also a new Ags-reliant hero, and I think that adds a lot of utility to him, as his ultimate now gives you the ability to just run over whatever you want to. So if a fight goes bad, if a Magnus RP hits, pop the ult, run away in every direction, and you can't get chased down.
I think something that we might see here, in the case of the Centaur Warrunner Ags, which was really theory crafted back on Reddit whenever the patch notes first came out. There's a lot of picks going on, but I'm just going to keep talking.
Go ahead.
Is the fact that Ursa loves to hop into that Roshan and just murder him and take his cheese, so he never sets up his cheese shop. But with the Aghanim's Scepter on the Centaur Warrunner, you can have your entire teammates just crash over the hills of that Roshan pit and just jump in and ruin Ursa's day. And I feel like we may be seeing that right now. I'm also curious about the Winter Wyvern pickup for the Radiant here, because she doesn't have an Aghanim Scepter upgrade. It's going to make Alchemist a little sad.
I mean, it is going to make Alchemist sad, but he can still give her stats. And also, I think she's going to be really, really useful, because it looks like the Radiant are drafting a very team fight reliant lineup, and Wyvern can just come in and be like, nope, you can't do any damage right now. So that'll help them out a lot.
Yeah, really unfortunate nerf onto Winter's Curse, though, where everybody who's attacking the Winter's Curse target has their damage reduced, so any damage done to them is actually reduced by 70%. So there's going to be not as much Winter's Curse into Splinter Blast, into massive AoE damage that rivals that of Black Hole and, you know, Darkseer Wall. But I feel like it was a bit over-nerfed, but maybe a little needed.
Venomancer, I actually don't see that hero almost at all anymore, but the Aghanim's ult is going to be really powerful in stopping anyone that's going to run into the middle, like Witch Doctor, Ursa, Magnus, anyone that's going to get in close to do damage.
So Venomancer's Gale was slightly buffed in 6.84. They added 10 damage to his level 1 damage per tick on Venomous Gale, which used to be 0, so you used to have it just for the slow. So at this point, you'll have it for a little bit of extra tick damage, which may be enough to get those level 1 kills that you're looking for. I still think Venomancer's in not a great place right now. His Plague Words don't push that well, and his base movement speed is just absolutely awful. That getting into position to land those Venomous Gales is just incredibly difficult, and honestly, I love the hero. He's in one of my most played, but I just don't think he's in a place where he needs to be.
To be a really viable pick?
Absolutely.
Alright, Shaman is the last pickup, so definitely picking up their support. Let's go ahead and put on my free camera here. And I'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant. It looks like on the side of the Radiant, we're going to have Tony Gruby on the Witch Doctor. We're going to have Roni on the Ursa. Road to Hell on the Spirit Breaker. Lemonade 1K on the Shadow Shaman, and
good luck with that.
Magnus.
Vladimir Putin on the Magnus.
Yeah, we're gonna have Magnus in the game.
Up on the Dire, we've got Keskio with a little nice umlaut up on that Crystal Maiden. On the Alchemist, we've got Extreme Wary. On the what is that? Venomancer. We've got Ibuni.
To all my
On the
concentrated
Winter Wyvern, we've got Killer Pingu.
definitely
And then on the Centaur War Runner, we have Kafki. running
You
down
had
to the
such
top.
easier names than I did.
I mean, I feel like you had easier names right up until you got to that Magnus, who really just looked like he vomited on his keyboard and the weight just kind of pressed some buttons.
Alright. So it looks like Magnus is going to be taking mid, which is pretty predictable unless, you know, he wanted to give it to... Actually, yeah, Magnus is really the only viable mid, so no surprise on the Radiant team. On the side of the Dire, it is going to be Venomancer mid, is that? Yeah, Venomancer mid, which I think he's good. He's ranged, he has a lot of things that can keep the push back, but I don't know if he's as level dependent as some of the other heroes on the team.
So here's something that the Radiant team, I feel, should really have watched out for. Alchemist got another huge buff in 6.84 where the bounty rune gives him quadruple the money. He just got 400 gold right there from picking up that bounty rune. They really should have seen that and have went up there to sort of stop that, because now he is incredibly accelerated. That's more than a first blood that this Alchemist has just gotten.
Yeah. Also, Alchemist does pick up a Quelling Blade and some regen, so he's going to be sitting in the jungle most likely, which will help him out a lot with his farm. He does pick up his first point in Greevil's Greed, so he's definitely going for that really hard farming build, probably to pop an Ags on the rest of his team.
I really like this reverse block here from Killer Pingu on the Winter Wyvern, and it looks like it will be a safe lane Alchemist. Winter Wyvern is going to zone out the Spirit Breaker really hard. Spirit Breaker really doesn't have any options he can do for this. He's not like PL or, you know, PA or any of the other P people who can just throw out their Qs and get some farms from a distance. He's really just going to be harassed by this Winter Wyvern, who's doing a pretty excellent job at it right now, and just allow this Alchemist to get the farm that he wants.
Yeah, agreed. It's going to be a tri-lane down bottom, probably until Ursa gets a couple of levels and can hop in the jungle. But, I don't know, I feel like Radiant aren't going to get a whole lot out of this lane, having two ranged supports sitting there and suck XP.
This is a terrifying lane, though, with Shackles. If, like, one Shackle with Rasta.
And a Kasky, too.
Yeah, and the bongos from Mr. Witch Doctor down here, who is pulling a single-staffed level 1 camp. That's always the best thing to do. Will pretty much equal a dead Centaur. Centaur is one of the best, you know, strength heroes in the early game. He's got incredible strength gain, 3.8. I think that's the highest in the game. Maybe right next to Treant or Spirit Breaker.
Looks like Winter Wyvern is going in on the Spirit Breaker up top. Alchemist channeling a stun and hits him. Spirit Breaker trying to charge away, and it looks like he's getting pretty low, but I don't know if they'll have the damage to finish him off. And it looks like he will just run back to tower without too much trouble.
Trying to smack the dragon around, but it looks like the Bash Lords are not in like his favor right now. RNGesus really not on his side. Oh, never mind. There he is. He bashed the creep. Everything I said was just a lie.
At least that creep really got his wrath. He does pop a tango to make himself feel a little bit better, but he is still pretty low in a lane with a lot of burst damage. I don't know if he should be sitting so high up.
I think he realized... Oh, really, really clever use of Cold Embrace right there. Denied the... well, pseudo-denied the creep right there by blocking it into...
And does end up getting the... kind of
here
deny.
Comes one bash onto the Alchemist, two bashes on the Alchemist, another bash onto the Alchemist, a charge on the Alchemist, and he explodes. First
All
blood
right.
by the Spirit Breaker.
Alchemist tried channeling a stun there, but just not enough time. LOL coming out in the all chat. Ooh, down mid. Magnus is going in on the Venomancer, gets him really far in, but he's behind tower. He's got to run to get out of here alive. And it looks like he should be able to get out of here alive with the Poison Tick not doing quite enough damage. He bottles himself up. He is still hasted. Is he trying to reinitiate on the Venomancer?
Oh, really good.
Oh, he gets it!
Yeah, really good shockwave by the Magnus here. Caught out the Venomancer, but luckily Crystal Maiden was there. Good rotation by the support to catch the Magnus. A little bit too greedy on his part. He could have just been like, you know what? I think I've learned a lesson from this, and kind of backed off. But no, he wanted that. He wanted that slithery, you know, goodness, and he got it. But he also got death. So.
All right, down bottom, Shaman just trading some last hits with Centaur. The return damage isn't really too friendly towards the Shaman, but he does have his Mango in the bank, a man after my own heart, so he is able to regen a little bit faster than he would without it.
Mango, best item in the game. He's going to have that Mango. Oh, he's actually looping around, trying to catch Centaur with a Shackle, but Centaur, pretty good base movement speed at 300 compared to the Shadow Shaman's 285, so Shadow Shaman one of the slowest, like right next to Crystal Maiden and Storm Spirit, so Centaur easily just able to run away. He did pick up his boots. He couldn't pick them up at the side shot for obvious reasons. You know, there was a creepy like Shadow Shaman and a Witch Doctor, all the voodoo people just around trying to make his life hell. So he couldn't get to the side shop. He's flying it out from the courier. He's gonna get, you know, one boot for all his feet, and he'll be ready for this.
Alright, looks like Magnus is camping this rune up top and is going to take some harass by the Venomancer, but with an illusion rune coming out, it looks like the Venomancer is going to be the one running for his life, trying to bottle up. Skewers onto the high ground, and it looks like Magnus is going to try to finish him off. Charge coming out from the Spirit Breaker up top, and it looks like Crystal Maiden's going to try to finish off the Magnus. Magnus will go down to the Crystal Maiden, or the Venomancer, sorry, but a charge is going to finish off the Venomancer, who is way too deep into Radiant territory to have any chance of surviving.
Really good map awareness here from the Spirit Breaker. Just saw what was going on and immediately just, space cowed up and just ran over there and got himself a free kill for his troubles, too.
Shaman ate his mango, it's gone!
No! Why?
I heard the mango sound and I was so sad.
Alright, well, we can leave this game. There's no reason to keep watching.
Yeah, I mean, mango's
everybody,
gone.
thank you for watching. And thank
It's been a great cast, yeah, thank you
for show. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me at Alright, never mind. Maybe there'll be another mango. A man can dream.
I know. It's just really the only item worth getting in this patch. Alright, it is interesting to notice that there's a Dire ward in this Radiant side jungle area here. So, Dire do see that Witch Doctor's pulling, and they do see if Shaman or Witch Doctor's going to wrap around from that Radiant jungle side. So, good for Centaur having that awareness and having that extra vision to keep him safe in lane.
Yeah, he's really noticing the Witch Doctor just kind of sitting over here in the jungle with his little skull mask. I haven't really seen the Witch Doctor do anything, but honestly, I think the Witch Doctor is doing a much better job than the Shadow Shaman is. The Shadow Shaman is just kind of sitting in lane, leeching experience. He's tried to go behind a couple of times to get his shackles off and try and get a kill on the Centaur, but it's really not working. And honestly, it's pretty much just a deficit to the Ursa. He should really be roaming around, maybe getting a kill on the Venomancer. It would be a really easy kill because Venomancer has no escapes. And Magnus has gotten Venomancer low so many times, and I actually missed a kill.
I also did.
Oh.
It looks like there was a return kill as well. Alchemist does end up burning the Spirit Breaker down with his acid.
That poor Space Cow. He didn't deserve it.
It is interesting to note that Shadow Shaman has gone a build of 1-1-1 in all three of his skills, which I don't think is as viable as if he were to max Shackle and Hex to keep someone locked down in one place. I don't think he needs that burst damage. He is not responsible for last hitting, and I don't think he's going to have enough damage from the level 1 Ether Shock to do any real killing damage if he needs it.
I feel like in this situation, 1-1-1 might be okay because of the high strength of Centaur Warrunner. He can just take him down, and it looks like there will be a dive. Bongos and Maledict coming out from the Witch Doctor. Shackles coming down, and now the Fury swipes and overpower from Ursa. That's what I was talking about. Once the Shackles go up and Ursa can just have his way with Centaur, things just end really quickly.
It looks like Magnus is going to be chasing down this Venomancer, who is once again charged, but Winter is TPing in and is going to go on this Magnus, slowing him down a little bit, but he is hasted once again. Magnus with the haste runes is just going crazy in this game. He's going to try to hit this Ice Dragon, skewer her in, and she's going to protect herself a little bit, but is there much that she can do?
I mean, you're just like chilling out in your block of ice. Suddenly a Space Cow just comes up and teleports behind you, smacks you in the back of the head. What can you do?
I mean, she did all she could do. She froze herself up, but in the end, you really can't put up with that much damage.
She did press all of her buttons, but she was just a little bit, it was a little unfortunate. She did give her life so that the Venomancer could live, though. So I think that is a little important. Throw away the support's life for the life of a core. Granted, it is a core Venomancer, so it's not worth too much, but I think that it was a worthy trade nonetheless.
Ursa's doing crazy good on his farm. It's only 7 minutes in with 45 last hits, and he has completed Phase Boots, a Morbid Mask, Orb of Venom. He has everything he needs to set up for a really, really great game.
Oh, and here comes another Shackle. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. Overpower Fury swipes, and we actually saw him use the new Ursa ult, where it actually multiplies the damage of Fury swipes. So now he's not doing 25 extra damage per attack. He's doing 50 damage extra per attack for 4 max speed attacks in the Shackles. You can't stand up to that, and this is a terrifying lane.
I think we have the definitive answer of who wins Bear versus Horse, and it looks like Bear's going to come out on top.
Was it ever really a challenge?
I mean, that guy can be pretty scary. Got 4 hooves, but I guess it's no competition for 2 very angry claws.
Plus, this is a sort of type of humanoid bear. We do see him walking around on 2 feet. And here is the smoke. So it looks like it is Roche time for old Ursa here. Gonna walk in. This is really good. Oh, really, really smart of the... Oh my god, that Winter Wyvern is MVP. Actually used her Arctic Burn to fly into Roche Pit because she just had the smallest feeling that, hey, Ursa's got his morbid mask. He might be in here. She went in, she actually canceled the smoke and spotted them out, and now he's going to have to wait a couple more minutes until they forget about him and then try and go into Roche then.
Magnus and Venno fighting over an Invis rune top. Magnus does charge in to grab it, and it looks like, speaking of charge, Spirit Breaker's on his way to harass this Venno once again, with Magnus invisible behind him. Let's see how this is going to go with two supports there, or sorry, two dire heroes there. It might not be as easy as they think. RP comes out, really nice job getting them both locked in place, but the Spirit Breaker will be going down to the Crystal Maiden right click, and Magnus is now on a run for his life as he is poisoned up.
Yeah, it was really... Oh, here comes the Angry Bear. Angry Bear is here. Splinter Blast is going to slow him down, though. This is the real weakness of Ursa, is that he can be kited very easily. They're running around like they just stole his backpack, and they're throwing it between each other. This poor Ursa can do nothing.
And now he's just
Magnus
taking tower shots.
Yeah, Magnus is going to try and come back in, but he doesn't have his RP. There's really not much he can do. Witch Doctor's going to come in as well, throw his bongos, but now he's going to get galed. Shockwave coming out. Shackles as well is going to do enough damage, but Winter Wyvern going to pick up the kill on... Actually, Venomancer Poison Damage is going to pick up the kill on Magnus and the Witch Doctor, but he is going to go down to that very, very small tick of shackle damage.
Spirit Breaker is now back in the game and charging the Winter Wyvern, who's really, really low and sitting at tower instead of going back to base. Oh, she ices herself up and does get some regen off, but that is one angry Space Cow hitting for almost 100 damage a pop. Looks like he will decide better of going in too deeply for fear of getting frozen, and does retreat back through some dire wards, so they know he's off the map right now.
They do have a lot of ice on this dire team, I just know. Well, maybe not a lot. They've got two super icy heroes. I bet they're obviously best friends. You know, they're always hanging around each other, got each other's backs. So, really nice to see some elemental play coming in.
We need an Ancient Apparition to really complete the trio.
Yeah, there we go. So we got a Gale onto the Magnus, but see, this is the weakness. Like, what are you gonna do? He's just gonna take the damage and skewer away, and Gale really doesn't do all that much damage.
Venno building up a Bracer, and I think, is that just because they're
so
super
Venno's
squishy, or are they looking
squishy.
to build that into something?
What's really weird about Venno is that he's an agility hero as opposed to an int hero. Actually, he's getting charged by Spirit Breaker. There will be a Cold Embrace to keep him alive, though. Centaur Warrunner is here as well. He's going to get hexed. Spirit Breaker trying to bash for his life, but the Centaur ultimate going to come out and slow him down. Winter Wyvern and Venomancer are now chasing. Another charge back on the Venomancer. Oh my god, one bash. Is he going to get the multiple bashes again? Oh, two bashes, but he is going to fall. Oh, really, really good. What is that? Witch's Curse. Oh, really unfortunate RP. Missed every single one of them. Now Ursa's trying to run for his life. He doesn't want his backpack back anymore. Oh, actually turns around and completely shreds the dragon. What kind of fight was this? Bongo's thrown out, Maledict as well, but it looks like he will go down to poison damage unless this Crystal Maiden wants to steal it, which she doesn't manage to do. Really unfortunate for her, even though she does have a minus, so we will see her going hopefully for the carry maiden. I want to see Dagons.
Yeah, definitely. I think that fight.
We were talking about.
That fight was just the Radiant kept going in one by one into clusters of dire heroes that were all clearly communicating with each other and ready to handle them. So I think, with Magnus charging in and getting immediately frozen up, Spirit Breaker having to turn around for fear of getting frozen, I think it was just dire were just so playing as one, and Radiant just kept going in one by one, and they got killed, like all of them.
It was a lot of impressive plays from the Dire and a lot of unfortunate misplays from the Radiant. We did see Magnus miss his RP right in the middle of everyone, just completely missed 3 people. And we saw the incredible reactions of the Winter Wyvern to catch the Magnus right as he skewered in. Also, Alchemist is dead. He got clawed up by the Angry Bear. This bear is going to go on a rampage soon enough.
Oh, yeah. Shadow Shaman trying to run for his life. It looks like he is going to try to go high ground, but a Venom Ward might keep him down. He does shackle up the Venomancer and allows for a charge by the Spirit Breaker, but it is going to kill off the Shadow Shaman. Spirit Breaker trying to get what revenge he can. Winter Wyvern helping out his friend, but Spirit Breaker's just going to keep hitting. Magnus is coming in. Is he going to have the speed to go chase him down? And it looks like he will.
The pain.
Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Centaur Warrunner and Crystal Maiden have taken out their first tower, which is the Radiant safe lane tower, and it looks like they are ahead. No towers have been taken. 25 kills, 13 minutes in this game, and we finally have seen the first tower go down. This game's looking really good. I can't believe it's only 13
Someone
minutes
lost their
game.
compendium challenge, though. Interestingly enough, I think we're about half a second desynced in terms of game time, so you're just calling up things before I see them, and I'm just really confused. You're like, yeah, Ursa turns the fight, and I'm like, no, he didn't. Oh, now he does.
Here's what you do. If you want to be super unprofessional, everybody who's watching right now, just forget about that Alchemist death right there. It's not important. We need to work on caster stuff. Just hit that pause button and wait like a second and then hit play. Or is it me?
It's you. I think you're a little faster.
I'll hit play. Okay, I am at 1340 right now.
40 now. 41, 42.
Okay. All right, I'm at 46.
Perfect. Okay.
All right, see,
Looks like we're
you
all
get-
synced up again, so next fight might not be such a confusing mess for me. Venomancer is once again getting charged by the Spirit Breaker. Road to Hell is absolutely relentless, and Ursa's gonna chip in with his new Blink Dagger and show Veno who's the boss. Veno casts his ult, and he is actually Centaur stampeded, but he still does end up going down to the Ursa. That is one mean bear. Centaur does get the pick on the Ursa at the back lines of that, so good job Kafki for knowing where the Ursa's gonna run to.
It was really unfortunate. Actually, it looks like they're going to turn around on this. Arctic Burn used to slow the Shadow Shaman down. Shackle's used on the Alchemist to try and delay it as much as possible, but he will go down. Bongos and Serpent Wards are up, doing a little bit of damage, but he's just giving so much more farm to this Alchemist. He doesn't need any more. Spear Breaker's going to charge in like I'm
This guy got balls like cantaloupes. He's just charging into 3 heroes that are all able to kill him.
Dancing Witch. Crystal Maiden, stop dancing. It's really offensive to my eyes. Just completely shuts him down. Really unfortunate. Witch Doctor, you should get Kevin Bacon on your case. Dancing's a cool thing.
Alright.
Let's see. Oh my
Spirit
god,
Breaker
another
charging in on the Centaur again. Is he going to get him, though? He is caught pretty off guard. Alchemist channeling up a stun, but Spirit Breaker bails out just in time and will get picked off by the Venomancer. I mean, this Spirit Breaker, he's just gone in on every hero he sees that's low, whether or not it's perfect positioning, which has paid off for him in some instances, but now it's just... I think that one was just a little silly.
So, really good shackle by Shadow Shaman there. No teammate follow-up. Actually, here comes the Angry Bear. Gets the kill on the Winter Wyvern as she tries to Arctic Burn away. He does have Earthshock and his ultimate. He's going to use his ultimate to run away. I don't think that's the right choice. He could easily turn around and fight, which he is going to do. Earthshock. Oh, and the Venom. Oh, I thought the ward blocked him in. Alchemist charging his stun. He does get the stun down, and here comes the kiting. This is Ursa's worst.
He does have a Blink Dagger ready to go, so if he needs it, he will not find the Alchemist in time.
Hey,
just about a quarter second short of getting in there and slamming the ground.
Oh, that is a dead Ursa. He's going to get poisoned. Oh, never mind. Crystal Maiden wants the kill.
And she's going to go back to base and pick up a Blink Dagger.
All right, so obvious, communication from Venomancer Crystal Maiden there. Crystal Maiden's like, hey, can I have the kill? I need to get money for my Blink Dagger. And Venomancer's like, yeah, absolutely, take it. I'm not trying to get it.
Either that or
pretty
CM
sure
was
that
just a
happened.
dick.
Well, trying to be positive, but you're probably right. So early on in that, oh my god, another charge in for the Spirit
This
Breaker.
guy is a madman.
Space Cow, I'm trying to talk.
You need wards, sir.
Another ultimate coming out. There's no Space Cow onto the Venomancer. 2 bashes in a row. A Shockwave and auto attacks are going to bring him down. Obscure
RP
into
catching
RP
up the
is gonna
Centaur.
Shackled 2, but a Crystal Maiden, Crystal Nova, and Winter's Curse to try and delay the death on the Centaur War Runner. It does delay it slightly, but he does still go down. Hex and good ward trap by the Shadow Shaman keeps the Crystal Maiden in place, throws out the Ether Shock to do some damage. Bongo's thrown out as well. Maybe we'll keep them in place long enough for the wards to get a kill, but it looks like it's not going to happen. Spirit Breaker is going to charge back in and try and kill the Winter Wyvern. She does, lock herself in ice, and now she's just going to fly away, throwing a ward in the progress. And it looks like Ursa is finally going to get his alone time with the Roshan here.
I mean, I think that Crystal Maiden play was just really, really genius. She gets trapped in by the wards, which you would think for such a squishy hero like Crystal Maiden, that's almost certain death. But she's like, no, now I'm in a protected place where no one can hurt me. I'm just going to ult. And she completely clears out the battlegrounds.
Just really good game knowledge coming from the Dire team right now.
Winter Wyvern does once again zone out 3 Radiant heroes from the Roche pit, so this guy is determined to keep Ursa from taking up Roche.
And the fights never stop. They never stop. Another charge. Oh, actually, Spirit Breaker using the charge to run away. There was a Centaur ult used and a blink to try and lock him down, but...
Drums being popped by the Venomancer, that's what he's building his Bracer into, and he's going to chase down the Witch Doctor. Centaur blinking in, stomping him up, but I don't know if there's the follow-up. There's an Angry Bear chasing down the Venomancer, and they don't want that to get away.
Really good 2-man Gale, too, by the Venomancer. And you see that even something like that, even a 2-man Gale that caught the Witch Doctor and the Shadow Shaman wasn't enough to get any kills. This was what I'm really talking about the weakness of the character. And here we see another charge. Centaur did pick up a regen rune, so he's going to have a little bit more health for this. Charge and an ultimate brought out, and the bear blink in and tore him to shreds.
Please explain why Witch Doctor is
even...
almost level 9 and doesn't have a point in heal. I feel like that's one of his most valuable skills with his team being as squishy as it is.
See, he's obviously a friend of Crystal Maiden's, and Crystal Maiden is trying to teach him how to steal kills. And he's like, yeah, man, just max Maledict, throw it at the beginning of the fight. By the end of the fight, you'll have all the kills. But it's not working. He's 1-4. I'm sure he's going to be able to start rethinking their friendship very soon here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a heal point could
totally
just be absolutely worth it, especially if he's, standing on the back lines of that team fight and going to reinforce the Spirit Breaker as he's running out of there. I think that'd be super, super helpful.
So what I want to say, way back earlier when that, 18-minute long fight started, there was a Magnus or a Spirit Breaker and an Ursa that was together, and Winter Wyvern, Winter's Curse, her ultimate, she used it on the Ursa, which made the Spirit Breaker attack him. I would have liked to see her use it on the Spirit Breaker because the Ursa's Fury swipes will cut deep into Spirit Breaker, and she might have gotten a lot more damage. That fight might have turned out a lot differently. But who are we to know? Because this Spirit Breaker just charges whenever he wants, wherever he wants. Like, he's going for this Alchemist right now, who actually has about half duration left on his ultimate, so he hits the charge one bash. He's not getting another bash. He's charging his stun. Oh, really smart Shadow Blade play. He's going to explode himself.
And he's going to re-initiate on that. Yeah, that explosion's going to give him the time he needs. Negative Urn being popped and another Nether Bash being popped. And it looks like he's going to try to finish him off. However, Centaur Warrunner's TPing up as well as the Crystal Maiden, freezing him up just in time, but he will end up going down to the Spirit Breakers. What killed him on that was...
the Urn charge. He threw another one.
Oh, okay. I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah.
Venomancer's double damaged up, but still afraid of this bear who's able to slice him down in a couple hits. That double damage isn't really scaring off Roni, who's going to be trying to keep going in, but Plague Boards might keep him back, and it looks like he will end up going down to the Venomancer. Witch Doctor doing what he can, but really unfortunate time for him to ult, I'd say.
The happy trash talk by the Winter Wyvern here. She was like, that was a good play. Really great cold embrace by this Winter Wyvern, and really showing why Winter Wyvern isn't in Captain's mode right now. She brings so much utility. Even the nerf to the ultimate has not stopped the powerhouse that is this hero right now.
Yep, and it looks like the second tower of the game is going to go also to the Dire, as they do bring down the mid tower, which is going to help them out a lot in opening up the map, especially the whole Radiant bottom jungle area. They can now roam in and gank that whenever they want to.
So we look at the lasses now. Alchemist is at 138. While his team has been, fighting for the last 40 minutes down here in the Radiant kind of jungle lane into the rune, Alchemist has just been farming, and we see another charge by Road to Hell.
And it's really only onto Venomancer. I don't know what this guy has against him, but he's getting the kills he needs to.
This is the thing about Venomancer, is that he's got absolutely no way to escape. His base movement speed is so bad. The only thing he can do is turn around and Gale, but by the time he's charged, he's going to be stunned for so long that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good job the whole game. Dire's been putting up crazy good vision. They do have a observer and a sentry on this little cliff in the mid-jungle. And all game I've noticed that they just have the wards where they need to be to scout out the Radiant movements. Is that the first Ags?
We do see the first Ag. All right, let's play a game. Who do you think is going to give it to? I think Centaur.
Centaur. I think Centaur.
All right. I think, yeah, they're sitting around in the jungle.
It could be Crystal Maiden, however, because she's hit some clutch ults.
Hey man, you got the stuff, and it looks like he does. Centaur now has Aghanim's ult. They can run through trees, they can run into Roche Pit, and here he comes, blink in, stun, double edge onto the Shadow Shaman. He throws down the wards, traps himself in, really good, keeps himself protected for a little bit longer. Spearbreaker actually charges in, gets 2 kills on the Crystal Maiden and the Winter Wyvern. Witch Doctor throwing down his ultimate, getting a kill onto the Shadow Shaman. Alchemist threw out a stun. Winter's Curse actually onto the Spearbreaker, though. Alchemist is going to change targets onto him. Spearbreaker going to charge onto the Venomancer once again. Even whenever they're right close to each other, he is not safe. Bongo's thrown out. Negative Urn charge on the Venomancer, but he does have a Force Staff now, so he is able to get away. Witch Doctor starting to kite this Alchemist around the wards, but a stun's going to keep him in pace. Magnus is going to skewer Venomancer back underneath the tower, but Venomancer did ult. He is going to die to the tower. That was a 4-for-4 trade right now. The only person left is Alchemist and the Angry Bear, who almost died to Maledict. Oh no!
He does have ult up in 10 seconds if he wants to go back into the jungle and try to get some of his health back that way. But honestly, with an Angry Bear around, he might just be better to go back to base. Angry Bear is going to be building a BKB, as he does have his Ogre Club and Mithril Hammer all set to go.
You can keep talking. I'm out of breath.
Okay. Yeah, that was a pretty intense fight. I love the Shadow Shaman play, trapping himself in the wards, because the only heroes that he was really afraid of were the melee heroes, and they can't get to him if there's angry snakes surrounding him. And he eventually did go down to the Winter Wyvern, but still, just such a great play, kept himself alive, and even after he died, he continued to micro the wards to do the most damage they possibly could. So really well played by the Shadow Shaman in that fight.
You know, I said at the beginning that maybe this doesn't look like a 5K game. I completely take it back. This looks like a 6K game. Everybody in this game looks like professionals. I am loving what I'm watching right now.
Speaking of 6K, Winter Wyvern has 2 wards, 2 of each set of wards, so that's how we know it's really a professional game right there.
look at the pretty. Actually, you know, Crystal Maiden, Glimmer Cape. So this
That's
item.
That's a great item. Don't even hate.
Yeah. Look, I'm not hating it. This item has been super controversial since it first came out in 6.84. By the way, there's a charge. You know, jump stuff. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking
Angry
about
Bear
Glimmer
gets
Cape
another
right
kill.
now.
Anyways, back to
this
what you're
stuff
saying.
that's just gonna happen. Back to Glimmer Cape. This item was super controversial. It used to cost no mana for its active, which was incredibly good, especially on Crystal Maiden, where she can fade in the middle of her ultimate. And the magic resist just makes it even crazier because you can cast on teammates and they'll go invisible as well. That was deemed OP by the Dota goers of, the world, and so they did add a mana cost.
It's
which
now
makes
130, I believe.
Yeah, 130, which makes it a little difficult for Crystal Maiden because she has a max mana pool of 800 right now, and her ultimate costs 600. Anyways, I'm gonna let you cast this fight now.
All right, Witch Doctor's having some struggles. He does pop his ult, and he is going to get the Crystal Maiden down low before she has a chance to react. It's going to end up hitting the Winter Wyvern for all he can. Shaman tries to ward trap, but it is off the mark, and Spirit Breaker charging in, and he will finish her off really easily. On the back lines of that, Ursa does pick up an Aegis, so really, really key fight for the Radiant as they're able to pick off 3 Dire heroes and get Angry Bear an extra life.
Yeah, 3 for none right there, and now it looks like Radiant Team wants to start steamrolling these towers. Spirit Breaker has charge ready, just trying to find a target. I think the only reason he's not charging is because he can't see anyone right now.
Magnus
Nice attempt, nice attempt from the Blink Skewer there, but
I'm
actually...
just going to give him a little gold star on the minimap.
You tried.
There we go. He made a valiant effort. He did use a blink and an ability, so definitely trying. Oh my god, Spirit Breaker charging in all the way up to the high ground. What a madman.
What is this? He decided not to charge? Did he switch like players
I'm
mid-game?
disappointed.
Did his brother pick up the keyboard?
Just cat mash some buttons. And it looks like Ursa is going to be taking a stun from the Alchemist really, really long range as Ursa phase boots away as it's being thrown out. But all the Radiant heroes are in fighting condition at this point, and they're able to turn and initiate whenever they'd like to, but this might be a little bit risky as all the Dire are up as well.
So I like this, the 4 Dire heroes, or the 4 Radiant heroes are moving together, except for the Spirit Breaker, who can jump into the fight at any time, so he is just staying back. Doesn't want to be caught out first, but he is going to charge on that Venomancer, of course. Hops right on him and ulties him at the same time. Centaur ultimate thrown out. That does reduce damage by 70%. Witch Doctor's going to start dancing, though. The damage is going to go around. The bear did go down, but he is coming back. Crystal Maiden let it go right in the middle of the map. Ursa does now use his BKB, saved it for whenever the Aghanim's came up. He's trying to find a target, but everybody's just running away from him. He does slow down the Alchemist, though, trying to get a few kills, but the Cold Embrace is going to stop any damage that he was planning on doing. Now Centaur, blink in and a stun on the double edge. Bongo's thrown out to keep him down for a little bit, though, but Alchemist was able to secure the kill with Acid Spray and some hits from his ultimate.
And down bottom, or down towards the mid, it is actually the Witch Doctor trying to get away as best he could. He did have that little heal up like I told him to, but Centaur is able to blink stomp and slash him right to pieces.
See, this is why Witch Doctor listens to Crystal Maiden.
My thanks.
Oh, second Aghanims, and he did give it to the Venomancer.
Venomancer, interesting. I thought Crystal Maiden's been doing some really clutch work with her ult. She's at 10 and 3 right now, and I think
Crystal
a good
Maiden's
portion of that is due to her ults and that one kill steal we caught earlier.
Crystal Maiden has been on point with her ultimates right now, whereas
Glimmer caping in, and she's going to try to catch out the Magnus, but he's going to force himself back down to low ground. So Crystal Maiden with a really cheeky attempt to go in on that, just blink back down to low ground. So nothing going to come out of that, but Crystal Maiden showing that she's an aggressive player and is not afraid to stand up to a full health Magnus.
Alright, so this is a problem. Venomancer got cocky. He's like, I got an axe, what are you going to do now? And as the people try and go after him, his team backed him up. Blink in by the Centaur managed to catch both of them, and a double edge some auto attacks from the Alchemist were able to bring them down. So, Venomancer's posse, just as strong as he is right now.
I did not catch Spirit Breaker charging in onto the Dragon, but Dragon apparently thinks that's a worthy kill. Not bad. Yeah. So, good job from the Spirit Breaker. Has this guy ever let his charge go on cooldown? I'm not sure.
Goes another charge onto the Venomancer, negative earn, no bashes, and his ultimate is down for 30 seconds. Skewer into 2-man RP, good RP by the Magnus.
Really beautiful RP, keeps the Dire heroes exactly where they need to go, yeah.
It doesn't actually make up for the 3-man miss.
It does make up for the 3-man miss. Man, if I had that Magnus on my team, aside from not being able to pronounce his name, I'd give him a commend.
I mean, he probably wouldn't understand what you were saying anyways.
Let's go ahead and guess what language he speaks.
You know what? I'm gonna think a little different. I'm gonna say like Ukrainian.
Is that even its own language?
Russian?
Yeah,
I think it's just
Russian.
Russian.
I don't know enough about Western Europe.
I'm trying to be. You learn about dinosaurs, but not Western Europe.
I can tell you all about the Devonian period and every type of trilobite. I cannot tell you what language they speak in like a really big place.
Were there any dinosaurs in the Western period, or in Western Europe?
I mean, it was just a big blob.
Oh,
Anyway, it looks like Radiant team are going to be pushing high ground. They do get down the tower, and they're going to go ahead and grab racks. They do grab the melee racks, working their way on the range right now. And it looks like they're not even worried about having a bunch of creeps with them. They're just worried about getting these buildings down. I think the Radiant are snowballing a little bit out of control. They turn the XP lead around, and they are actually in the Radiant's favor, where all game it's been in Dire's favor. So I think Dire's favor was mostly due to the but the first 2 towers of the game and some of the pickups we saw. But now Radiant are fighting really cleanly.
Yeah, I feel like Radiant are doing a really great job right now. They've really picked up on their past mistakes. They're really like getting their heads in the games right now. The issue that I see with it is that really their only real carry is Ursa. They've got a semi carry with the Spirit Breaker, and even like semi-air carry with the Magnus, who is actually opting for a refresher, which won't help if he misses the RPs. I think a missed RP and some kiting of the Ursa will cause Dire to get right back into this, because they do have the better initiation. They've got better ults. They have a Venomancer, which is, you know...
Speaking of initiation, it looks like that's what's going on right now. Alchemist using a short-channeled stun onto the Shadow Shaman just to make sure he's out of the fight and no wards get dropped. And it looks like Magnus is doing what he can. He does skewer again. Gale coming off, and Venomancer's being charged once again. What does the Spirit Breaker have against this guy? And it looks like Witch Doctor ult is going to be off the mark, doesn't quite do enough damage. Crystal Maiden finishing off the Ursa on the back lines of that. And it looks like Spirit Breaker is going to be storming back in and grabbing the Venomancer from the low ground. Glimmer Cape comes onto the Alchemist by the Crystal Maiden, and it looks like he's just going to use it to farm. He doesn't really care about being invisible.
I love that Spirit Breaker wasn't in that fight. All he did was charge the Venomancer and kill him and then just run away. All of his teammates are dead, but he got what he wanted.
I think that's a really great metaphor for this entire game, is that, you know, there's been fights going on, but the Spirit Breaker's charging into the Veno. And
that's the real fight. This
yeah.
is really just Spirit Breaker versus Venomancer. All the other heroes are kind of just sideline people. They don't really matter.
Oh, absolutely.
Looks like we do have a Silver Edge picked up on the Spirit Breaker. I'm not sure who that's really going for. Obviously it upgrades from the Shadow Blade, so it's good to get, but I would have liked to see him invest the money into something different, because the passive break doesn't really help him against anyone except maybe like the Centaur on return, but that's pretty much it, and it's not really worth it. I would have liked to see him get maybe a Heaven's Halberd for that Alchemist, maybe.
Well, I think he also just wants that extra burst damage on the first hit out of that Silver Edge, so I think when he's going to charge the Venomancer, he wants to do as much damage as possible to that squishy little bug before they're able to get off their Gale.
I think he's a bug. I think he's more of like a slug thing.
Is Venomancer a guy or a girl?
He was a guy. He got turned into like a snake.
Is that a difference?
Yeah. No. You calling guys snakes?
Anyway, it looks like Venomancer's going to be walking through the jungle. He's pretty starved for items. He only has about 1.2k gold in the bank, and really nothing big to speak of aside from, I guess, drums and a 4-staff.
I was going to say he has 1200 gold. We may see him pick up a point booster for Aghanims, and then I realized he already has Aghanims.
Oh, yeah.
Alchemist, such a cool guy. And we actually, I thought he picked up another one, but that was actually Shadow Shaman. Now his wards are going to hit like trucks.
Yeah, and he's been using them really, really well in this whole fight, and looks like another charge from the Spirit Breaker sets up a really good kill for the Ursa. Crystal made an ult, though, melting down the Spirit Breaker. Ursa does have his BKB, so that's not going to be as detrimental to him, but the BKB wears off, and it's still going to do a fair amount of damage. Witch Doctor getting melted down on the back end of this fight. He's running away as fast as he can. Guardian Greaves himself. Ursa getting picked off by the Crystal Maiden down in the mid lane, and it looks like Witch Doctor's just running away, but he can't do much. He single-man stuns the Centaur. He has his heal on. He's walking through the trees, but, I mean, what can he do to this big tanky horse?
So, in the middle of that fight, Ursa died and dropped his gem, and Crystal Maiden, like, dropped something to pick it up, but Magnus was invisible and dropped his bottle and picked it up, and Crystal Maiden had that moment of, like, wait, what just happened? And then she picked up her item again.
Witch Doctor's still kiting. Give this man a medal or something. He's successfully distracted 3 Dire heroes at the end of that fight. Sorry, 4 Dire heroes at the end of that fight.
We'll put the medal on his grave, because he's a little dead now.
Yeah, and it's still really great vision for the Dire team, with some pretty fresh Observer Wards being popped down in the Radiant jungle really aggressively. So it looks like they might be trying to rotate in, push their bottom lane, and get that tier 2 bottom tower on the Radiant side.
Nobody saw Centaur take that bounty. The way he walked up to it, he kind of walked up to it and turned around, and he was like, "Is anyone looking?"
Is Alchemist looking?
Is Alchemist looking? And then he picked it up.
No, Dad, don't look at me. I'm not doing anything bad, I promise. And that
Speaking of Alchemist, when's the next Aghanim set? Also,
Is-
he's being charged, but that's not important.
he does pick up a Lotus Orb before starting to farm for his next Aghanim, so I don't know if he's going to be building one for Crystal Maiden or not. He might just decide to get beefy items for himself now.
Wow, so rude. I think he's just sexist.
I mean, I think that Lotus Orb is going to be really, really funny. I've seen some really crazy plays come out of it. And
I would
Yeah.
love to see Shadow Shaman shackle himself.
that would be interesting. I have seen a Lich kill his whole team.
Nice.
And Shadow Shaman's going to be struggling a little bit, trying to TP out, but we'll get caught out by the Winter Wyvern, and we'll just immediately go down. To the Venomancer, actually, the Poison Tick's going to get the last hit. And Crystal Maiden and Winter Wyvern trying to take a Roshan. This should be interesting to watch.
But Crystal Maiden's got the Midas. She's the carry. Don't worry about it.
Just
Also,
Midas Roshan. That's easy.
Yeah, just Midas Roshan. And Alchemist is here. He's ready to take it down. Get all the money in the world. And here comes the Spiritbreaker charging in on the Venomancer. Did you think anything else was going to happen?
Is this
'Cause you were
button just
wrong.
locked onto Venomancer? What is this?
I think a 2-man RP by the Magnus. Actually, 3-man RP with the refresher. Alchemist is going to go down to the Spiritbreaker and Ursa. And that
Magnus
is
having
3
some struggles, blinks onto the edge of the cliff, but will have a Force Staff to get himself down. And it looks like Glimmer Cape coming on to the Centaur is going to run out, and he's now visible again. Magnus is still angry and wants to go back in. I don't think he has the range to quite get there, but it looks like they may be able to push in to maybe some tier 4s, although Crystal Maiden does buy back and is very aggressive and able to defend her team.
Oh my god, he's charging someone who's not Venomancer. Also, really good stun by the Centaur here. Ultimate thrown out, but, you know, they have the gem that they picked up from
Gale onto
Alchemist.
4 heroes, so able to get a really good use out of that. And that is an Aghanim's Gale, so that's going to melt him down pretty steadily. Magnus already about half health as he was full earlier. Centaur's back, and he's better than ever. He just picks himself up a double kill on that. And there's a gem sitting on the floor of the Dire base.
Alright, everything I said about Venomancer, I have to take it back. That was a really good ultimate, and it really turned the tide of that team fight right there. I still don't think he's good, but that was a good ultimate.
Another Lotus Orb coming out for Centaur as he is trying to really reverse the damage the Radiant are doing, because they are doing a whole lot of magic damage. And point-click spells, I guess. That's another thing. Wards wouldn't duplicate, I don't think, because they're not point-and-click. They're not single target.
Oh, that would be cool if you could cast a ward on someone, like a tracker, like Bounty Hunter track. Except it'll only last, like, not a long time, maybe like 10 seconds. You just, like, stick the ward in their back pocket. Actually, no, you stick the ward in their inventory. But if they don't notice it, they just carry it around in their inventory, then you get vision of them, but they can, like, place it down at any time. That would be awesome. Valve, get on that.
Did you know that the Dire Sentry Wards are fish that jump up and down?
What? I had no idea. Where
The
is
one near
that?
the regen rune bottom, it's just a little fish that flops up every once in a while.
You know why? Because, you know, they've got him on a stick, like, above the river. This is torture.
Just put it in the river!
Yeah, seriously, this is so, like, he's trying to flop out, but, you know, his flop is so, like, perpendicular and vertical that he just can't. There's a regen right there. Grab it, buddy. You can do it.
Someone called PETA. We got, like, fish on sticks trying to jump for their life. They're suffocating slowly. Alright, and it looks like, in terms of XP, it is pretty close to 0 for a 36-minute game. It's only about 3,000 in favor of the Dire, but can easily tick back the other way in favor of the Radiant. And in
This
terms
game's
of
been
golds,
incredible back and forth.
almost exactly at 0, which is a huge surprise considering the Alchemist has been farming like an absolute madman. He does have an Assault Cuirass for himself and a Vanguard, so, I mean, good on him for that. He's picking up items for himself now. I don't think he's going to be buying an Aghanims for that Crystal unless we already missed it. Now it looks like Crystal's on her own if she wants an Aghanims.
And we do see the Radiant hop into that Roche pit. Winter Wyvern just kind of flies in, decides she wants none of that action. And here's what I was talking about. The Aghanim Scepter Centaur roll. By the way, Venomancer was charged by the Spiritbreaker. Was that like 8 charged? No, I don't know. I haven't been counting, but I feel like we should go back and count this after this is over. Also, 2-man RP by the Magnus. That's going to take down the Venomancer. Crystal Maiden's going to ultimate. Actually kill both of them with that ultimate. You were absolutely right about everything you said about the Crystal Maiden. She's doing incredible. Angry Bear is going to take down the Centaur War Runner, though. The gem is going to drop. We'll see if Alchemist decides to pick that up. He does pick it up.
He
Actually
drops his
boots. Doesn't need boots. Vision's more important. This man is rolling in money. He can buy a designer pair of shoes anytime he wants. So
Exactly.
just throws out this old leather pair. Actually gets... Oh, another charge by the Spiritbreaker, but a really good Winter's Curse onto the Spiritbreaker. We might see him die. Overpower was actually used, so all of the max attack speeds. And the Refresher catches 3 with the RP. The cleave on the Ursa and the Magnus is going to do ridiculous amounts of damage. Alchemist is trying to run away, but he's not going to be able to. He only let off the stun in 5 seconds. Winter Wyvern's going to fly over to the other side of the secret shop. Actually stops halfway through and TP's home. incredibly good RP by the Magnus, showing everybody that that miss was a mistake. They actually both blink into the trees to try and find her, but she's
Alright,
long gone.
who won that fight? Because, yeah, 4 dire heroes go down and only the Winter Wyvern lives, but Crystal Maiden picks up an ultra kill for herself, and I don't think the Radiant want that.
I like to think that this game will never end. It will just go back and forth forever. The Venomancer just stuck in a permanent series of being charged. He's got 16 deaths. I guarantee you 15 of those was him being charged.
At least. Yeah, I mean, this Spirit Breaker has just had it out for them. I wonder if they have some sort of rivalry in a past life, but it looks like Spirit Breaker's just probably going to come back to life and charge him right away. And Ursa just really, really wants that tower. Puts himself way out of position, and it looks like he's going to end up sacrificing the Magnus to get that tower. And Magnus has the gem. He drops the gem of True Sight, and Centaur is going to pick that up, and that's not something they wanted to have, as now Spirit Breaker's Silver Edge is going to be pretty much useless if he's charging onto the Centaur.
That gem has been in so many people's pockets. I really hope they like start washing their hands or something.
Yeah, just communal gem. Everyone takes a turn. It looks like 2 Radiant heroes are going to be trying to pop down some vision or just scout out what's going on, but there, Witch Doctor's way out of position here, popping his heal to keep him up. He does have an Angry Bear friend, but I don't think Witch Doctor can stand up to this Venomancer. That Poison Tick is just going to melt the squishy little guy down, but Bear coming in doing some work. BKB popped brilliantly, avoids the stun from the Centaur, and it is going to be Spirit Breaker charging in onto the Centaur War Runner.
Unfortunately, whenever the BKB runs out, that means no more fun for Ursa. He just gets slowed by everybody, and he's not allowed to fight anymore.
I mean, he got the kill he needed, though. And he avoided...
Trying to charge him? Oh, he's going to charge the base? Oh, I wanted to see it.
Alchemist is doing what Alchemist does best in this patch, and just farming like a maniac. Look at that guy. He has 255 last hits, which is high. He does leave his Quelling Blade just sitting in the dirt for some friends to find later. And it looks like Radiant team are going to be rotating up down the bottom lane and looking to maybe break high ground here. I think that's a little bit aggressive. They do have a high ground observer ward and will not scout out the other dire observer ward up there, so just 2 wards making friends.
He's actually 3rd on the net worth chart, with Ursa being at the top at 20,000 net worth, and actually Centaur being right above Alchemist, about 500 gold ahead, so Alchemist may be not farming as hard as we think he is. He's been in a lot of team fights and really hasn't had the time to roam around in the jungle, turning little monsters into gold as much as he would really want to.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it looks like the ward from the Radiant team is scouted out by a newly placed sentry, and Winter Wyvern takes down the observer ward. So Radiant lose their vision up in that bottom lane, which I think was really important for them to be able to feel safe pushing in on the other side of the map.
Spirit Breaker's ready. He's looking for Venomancer, I guarantee it. He's trying to find him. Venomancer's over on the right side. You can get him. Actually, he's not going to do it. It's actually going to be a blink in from the bear. Witch Doctor's going to start dancing, but the Cold Embrace is going to keep Centaur completely fine. He's going to use his ultimate. The Axe will block 70% of the damage for 4 seconds. BKB's everywhere. Crystal Maiden is going to ult. She's doing a lot of damage. She gets 1 kill. She gets 2 kills. The rest of the Radiant team will run away, and we do see Spirit Breaker.
Winter Wyvern now takes his turn with the gem, and it looks like Winter...
Chase, they might...
And
I'm sort of confused on what just happened.
You're cutting out a lot on Skype, so I'm not quite sure if you casted that last fight or what, but... And it looks like Glimmer Cape out from the Venomancer.
I did, but then your voice came in, and
Yeah, I was just very confused. It's
Skype, everybody.
Yeah, Skype is bad, my internet's bad, probably that, but... Yeah, and it looks like Dire Team are now taking their turn to push down the mid lane, and they're probably going to break high ground on this, as in terms of buyback status, I think everyone's been buying out pretty solidly. And yeah, in terms of Radiant heroes with buyback, there aren't any.
They might be able to win the game here. The Shadow Shaman is here, but that's pretty much it. There's really not much he can do. He's got wards off cooldown, but he's going to throw those down. They're going to melt underneath the power of Alchemist Blades here. And actually, Crystal Maiden blinks in and just kind of thinks about her life decisions for a second before going back.
She doesn't have a Veil of Discord, which is going to just add that much more power to her ultimate. No Aghanims yet, so Alchemist is really slacking. He almost has enough gold to right-click an eggs if he goes into the side shop, but I don't know, maybe she doesn't even need it. She's just that powerful, but she's going to get nether bashed up, and she's going to take a lot of damage. BKB coming up for her, as well as a Centaur ult. Run down the hill, Crystal Maiden, you can do it. She does not have enough mana for her ult, so she can't cast it, but it looks like Shadow Shaman will get himself an ultra kill, killing off 2 of the Dire heroes, and it looks like Spirit Breaker has no fear. Guardian Greaves coming out for him, but he will run away and die to poison tick damage. And now it looks like Centaur trying to clean up the mess as he does go in on the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor getting frozen up, doing as best he can just to run away, but it looks like Crystal Maiden last hit will end up getting the kill on him. Crystal Maiden sitting very, very low. Might want to go back to base at some point soon. Witch Doctor buying back. I'm not quite sure why. It doesn't look like they're in much danger of losing the game right now. Witch Doctor casting his cask onto Centaur, but the Lotus Orb comes out and reflects it right back, so he gets stunned up, and the pursuit stops there.
I really thought that, I guess I thought that was going to be it, but I guess Alchemist was down, and really the pushing power between, you know, Crystal Maiden throwing snowballs and Centaur War running, banging his head against the tower isn't as strong as maybe I thought it was going to be. Also, there's his boots. They're pointing out Alchemist's boots. Their boots are still there.
Oh my god. And it looks like everyone's just kind of going back to farming right now, getting farmed up. Witch Doctor's in bottom lane. Shaman's taking some jungle creeps. Centaur's out in the Radiant jungle. Going to be TPing back home, probably to pick up his next big item. And it looks like he's going to be... Nope, just healing up. He drops boots. He probably picked up his little buddy's boots. And there is an arrow being drawn on the map.
He found Alchemist's boots. He found them in the jungle.
Yeah. I think that's cute.
Arrow being drawn to the fish. They've moved the fish further away from the river. They have put him on top of a rock. Now he can't even see his home.
Looks like we're drawing some squares on the minimap, trying to figure out where the best place to go is. Roshan is coming up in less than 30 seconds, so that's something the Dire team might want to get some vision of and rotate in on that. And it looks like Ursa is... Man, that guy has farm. He now has a finished Abyssal as well as a Moon Shard. So he's hitting fast and hitting hard.
Oh, who's getting charged? Who's getting charged? Is the Venomancer? I didn't see.
I didn't see it either. I didn't notice he was moving fast.
He was moving so fast. I thought he was going for the Venomancer again. I was so ready to call it.
I mean, he probably was, out of statistical possibilities. And Venomancer now has a... Venomancer has a finish sheet as guard. And that's going to help him out a lot in the team fights. Solar Crest coming out for the Winter Wyvern, trying to get his team that much more sustained in these long, long, long fights. And
I feel like it's going to come down to this fight, and the winner of this next fight will be the one to push out, because both mid barracks are down, and they will have open tier 4 towers right next to the throne. So this fight might be the end of it, and there will be a charge in onto the Centaur War Runner right now.
I mean, this fight's just really, really chaotic as far as what's going on. It looks like everyone's kind of fighting on the outskirts, and there's not real one central place for it to go. But as far as kills go, Crystal Maiden's raking it in. She is standing under wards and taking a lot of damage from that, but she's keeping her ult up, and she's going to get another ultra kill off of that. Is she going to get finished off by the Shaman wards, though? No, it looks like she will be able to clean up the rest of the team. Alchemist getting the last hit, denying her the rampage, but it looks like Dire team are going to be pushing up mid right now, and they could definitely go to end it, as Radiant buyback is pretty much non-existent. Pretty sure my Skype call just dropped. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Sorry about
Welcome
that. Definitely my internet. It looks like a fish
That's
is being
okay.
filmed by a camera in terms of wards going on in the mid lane right there. And tier 4 is going to be going down. So I think this is pretty much GG, as there's no buyback on the Radiant side, and all 5 Dire heroes are there chopping down the towers. Really well played. In terms of XP, it does end about 10,000 XP difference in favor of the Dire. And who would you say your MVP is in this game?
I think the MVP was absolutely the Winter Wyvern. The cold
Oh no, not Skype again.
races were absolutely on point. They stopped all of Ursa's... Oh, Skype, please.
Please, Skype, no. Alright, anyway, to wrap this up, I'm Annie, aka Android. I really hope you liked my cast. Me and my co-caster... Oh, let me take the Skype call for 1 sec. Skype, please. Alright. And if you really enjoyed the cast, I'm actually available on dotacasters.com, so you can go ahead and basically rent me to cast your game, and it'd be a super great experience. I would really, really love more games to cast. I'm definitely improving, and if you have any feedback, feel free to leave it. I would love to hear it. So thanks again for watching, and see you later.